my camcorder's got a big hole in it. But that's with good reason. I've taken the cassette deck out, here it is. So upside down, I'll just flip it over. It's the full-size DV cam deck. It's from the Sony DSR-570. And I've got it out because I'm just adjusting the tape guides. What happened was, when I put a tape in, a good recorded tape, it would play the tape fine. But some of the guides were a bit too low, so although the alignment was okay, it was actually putting a bit of a curl on the top of the tape, and that causes a bit of damage. So I tried adjusting it. I raised the guides up slightly, and if you do that, it took the alignment off. It stopped the curling, but it took the alignment off. So I wasn't quite sure what was up with it, but I've taken the cassette compartment off, and to try and adjust it, it's a bit difficult to adjust when it's actually in the camera, so I've take the cassette compartment off. You can put the tape in there, and then you can get a screwdriver and then use this little red screw here. In fact, I'll just maybe if I turn it round you'll be able to see the mechanism a bit better. Turn that screw and it pulls all the mechanism out, threads it up, and then you can adjust it as you want. And it's a bit difficult doing this actually in the camera because you have to sort of look at the guides straight on like that, and it's a bit difficult to see on the video because it's a bit easier to see in real life. But then you can basically do some adjustments and get it all right. So anyway, I've got this so that the tape threads in nicely and does not curl up. I've just got to put it back in the camcorder and see if the alignment's okay, and if it's not, I've got to try and tweak it so that it is. So I will admit this DV camcorder is very nice to take apart. The side panel just comes off with 4 screws. Lifts right off. Plenty of slack in these cables for it to sit on its side. Yeah, as I've said, this camcorder is actually really nice to take apart and put back together. We've got here, fortunately I've not actually had to do any electronic repairs, but there's a lot of components on these boards, so I think a component level repair might actually be quite practical on a machine like this. That just slides in there like that. Or it does if you get it in the right slot. There we go. This one's got lots of shielding and heat. Nothing else to plug in on this side. I'm satisfied that those connectors are okay, so all we need to do now, put that side panel back on, and these captive screws simply screw right back in. Now the question is, will the tape drive work okay? I'll plug the viewfinder in, let's just plug the battery in. Hopefully it won't go boom. Yeah, that's come on fine. So eject. It ejects. Let's put the test tape in. This tape is slightly damaged, so it may not play properly, but it should be good enough to check the functionality of it. Just check that these this being taking both the mini tapes and the full size tapes, it has to be able to adjust the position of the reel, so I'll just check in that still works alright, and it does. So I'll put that in. Yeah, Yeah, so we can see it works. I'm just going to press play and see what happens now. So you can hear from the fact that we keep losing the audio that it's not aligned properly, but it is playing, and it doesn't look like the tape's curling at all. So you probably can't see that on the video, but if I examine it with my torch, there's no issues with it curling. There's a slight little bit of slack on the on this side of it, but that's probably within tolerance. Now this time I'm not going to try and align it by eye. I'm going to try and do it with the oscilloscope. To do it by eye, basically you watch the video and see what the picture looks like on the viewfinder or on a monitor. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it with the oscilloscope. And on here we know where the signal actually is, unlike the rather pesky Canon XH-A1. I can tell you that the signal we need to probe, I think, is that one. No, it's not that one. It's one of these. This oscilloscope's actually not got quite the right amount of bandwidth. We really want, it recommends a 150 megahertz oscilloscope. This is only 20, but it'll pick up just enough to see approximately the right signal. And we can see that's wrong, basically. Yeah, that's what it looks like on the oscilloscope. That's completely wrong. You can see each head. There's one head, there's the other head. But it shouldn't be all wiggly. It should be like nice rectangles. We need to rotate these guides, but I want to make sure I know how many times I've rotated it. So that's half a turn. It's glitching a bit, but it's not too bad. The oscilloscope's not triggering very well. I'm just trying a different tape, and you can see we've got audio and we've got decent waveforms on the oscilloscope, but we do still get the occasional dropout. See, there was a few. But that's a good picture. We'll just try JVC tape. I recorded this on the Canon the other day. I've not imported it yet, so I don't want to damage the tape. I don't think it's going to damage it. I think at worst it just won't play it very well. But let's see how it manages. Now you see that's absolutely all over the place. I wonder if I could tweak the alignment using this tape, because this is probably a higher quality tape. Right, I've just adjusted it so that it will play a tape off my Canon XL1, and this is a Panasonic tape, so this is a good quality tape.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
You can see that's a good waveform, they're very good waveform in fact. And a good picture and audio. So I'm just going to try another tape and see what that's like. Just trying the Piers Corbin tape again. That works, you can't see it because of the shutter speed differences, but if we probe the oscilloscope again, there we've got a lovely waveform. Yeah, so what I had to do is when I had the XL1 tape in, I think I changed this guide a bit more. That took out this side of the waveform, so I had to adjust this so it was good. But it seems good now. I think this is going to be good. So let's try a Canon an XH-A1 tape. This is a video from an abortion rally on Monday. There was a rally on Monday in Sheffield since the American Roe versus Wade thing got overturned. People are concerned that we might lose rights in other parts of the world, but yeah, that's an absolutely perfect waveform. They're not perfect. Well, they're not perfectly equal. One's one head, one's the other head, so they're never going to be perfect. And this is quite a worn-out camcorder, but that is lovely and square, basically. So that's what we're looking for. So yeah, I think I've got it right now at long last. And my TDK test tape's looking okay. Right, we'll just do a self-test now that it looks like it's aligned properly. Yeah, playing back the self-recorded test, the oscilloscope won't quite trigger, but that RF waveform is lovely and square and big, so that's looking alright. And it plays back okay. And it seems to play back okay in a handycam as well. We're not losing the time code, we're not getting any audio dropouts like we were last time. Only thing to look out for now is, why does this handycam make a funny clicking noise? If I turn it upside down, it doesn't. So that might be the next project. I'm just going to try test recording on this Panasonic AMQ tape, the big one, which didn't work properly when I first tried it in this camera. There were a few minor dropouts on the Panasonic tape, but it seemed more or less okay. This is a big heavy camera, so I'm not going to use it a lot, so I think it's good enough. Now this is how you're supposed to set the oscilloscope up, with two probes. That there is a head switching waveform, which tells it which head to use. That's on channel 2. And you can see that waveform there, which is on channel 1, is now nice and steady because we're triggering off channel 2, which is the head switching waveform. So we're not triggering off this mess, we're triggering off that nice clean signal. So that's how you should do it, but of course I haven't got the right connector, so I'm just using probes. And I only have 2 hands. But the big tape seems to have recorded fine. Anyway, I've just put a little dab of super glue on top of the screws, and hopefully that will stop them from shaking loose in future. And I'm going to put it back together and see if I can use it for something. I'm hoping to take it out next weekend.
We all go through seasons, we're changing all the time.